Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in here again for another review. This is Son of Liberty. So today's first impression, we are going to be taking a look at SIG's P320X Compact. Now, I've got to tell you that this thing feels really good in the hands. So I'm really hoping that I am going to have the same experience with this gun today as Mike Glover did with his in his video review that he done some time ago. Now, it was refreshing for me to see someone with his background, probably close to 20 years of running Glocks, shoot this gun and actually have some really good feedback from it. I've heard nothing but good things about the 320X or the 320 series, and I just felt like it was time for me to kind of step out into a little something different from what my experience is, based on my experience and feedback that I got from the 365XL. Now, as you guys know, I've got the first impression video of that already uploaded here on the channel. I am currently working on editing the full video review that I've done of that gun. So anyway, I wanted to do another first impression review of this one. I have not shot this gun, so this is going to be the very first time. I'm obviously going to give you guys the feedback, both good and bad. Today, though, we're going to be shooting actually 3 mags through this gun. So let me get this thing loaded up. We'll start putting some rounds through the pipe and see what we think. All right, guys. So before we shoot the 320, I wanted to just kind of talk you through how the trigger feels. That's something that I did forget to do in the XL video. So let me kind of walk you through how the trigger feels to me, and I kind of tell you about the things that I really liked about it. So obviously the trigger is going to feel different, but I'll be honest with you, after doing some dry fire sessions with this thing, I just kind of fell into par with this thing. It's really easy to get comfortable with. So I am a huge fan of their version of this flat face trigger. It's got a very short take up, okay? So very short take up. And then there is a very defined definitive wall, all right? I really like that. From a defensive pistol, I think that that's a really good thing, guys, all right? So anyway, short take up. As soon as I hit that defined wall, there is no mush beyond this point. It is literally just I'm applying more pressure, break, right? Reset is short, and then I'm back to the wall again for the next break, right? So take up, break. Again, no mush beyond the definitive wall, right? I did experience that with the XL, all right? It's not terribly bad, but I actually like this trigger in this gun better than I did the XL. So let me actually just come over here and give this camera a good look here. So again, there is that really nice defined flat face trigger. Very short break, or a very short take up, as you guys can see here. So take up, very definitive wall, break. No mush beyond that definitive wall, and then there's your reset. So very short reset, right? And I'm back at that wall again. It feels really good, and so I feel like that it's going to be really easy to, after firing the first shot, to really get back to that definitive wall quickly to set yourself up for that next break. So let me get my ear pro on, guys. Let's put some rounds down this thing. All right, guys, let's get to it. Gun's really accurate. Obviously, I'm not at a very far distance. I'm only about 4 to 5 yards. The recoil on this thing is actually, it's really tame, which is what I expected. This gun feels a little bit heavier than my Glock 19. I also feel like the grip, even though it is very ergonomic, I feel like it is, obviously it's actually a little bit wider than mine because I've had some grip reduction done to my gun. I believe that that is the reason why the XL is so controllable, is because the grip is so small that you can just really wrap your fingers and crush that grip in order to keep that gun in its place to prevent it from moving. But this thing just feels great. Also too, if you guys can see that, there is a loaded round indicator right there. There we go. So, and of course this one is the one with the high vis sights, which I believe is pretty much standard on these things. Man, this thing shoots really good. So let's get back to it. Really like the way that this gun feels. It's very controllable. Because the gun doesn't move a whole lot, obviously it's going to be very easy to track that front sight. I don't get any up flip. And go ahead and make this, actually I've only got one round left. So one of the things that is really nice about this particular design and the SIGs in general, or at least the newer ones, is with this takedown lever here, right? It almost gives you a really nice shelf to kind of put your thumb on as you are shooting the gun. So it really kind of, what is known with Glocks, and when they're stippled, there is an accelerator cut that is cut into the side of the gun, of the frame. So this essentially is your accelerator cut. So again, you've got a really nice shelf be able to put your thumb there on in order to keep the front end of the gun down. But again, it really doesn't need it just because the gun is so tame. The beaver tail on the SIGs is really nice. And of course, I've got large size hands. You guys can see that there. I don't have any issues. Of course, I've got an empty mag here. I'll grab the other one. But I don't have any issues when my hand is closed and I go to reinsert another magazine with the XL. Obviously, I've got to open up the bottom portion of my hand so that I don't catch it when I'm going for that mag change, right? So again, I can keep my hand in my dominant firing hand. I can keep it completely in place when I go for that reload, and for me, it seats perfectly. I don't have to adjust anything, and it's ready to go. So I really like that. Obviously this one has ambi slide release, so you know, I can really hammer down on this thing in order to allow that slide to go forward and get to work, or a slide stop. So anyway guys, let me get this other magazine. So as I have stated in some of my previous videos, one of the things that I want to test, let's see if I can get this right, limp wrist test, right? So if you guys have seen the other ones, I have a hard time saying that word. So anyway, I just want to check that just to see how the gun performs. Obviously, some guns perform better than others. So I'm just going to relax my grip and let's see how this thing performs. Malfunction. Let's test it here. All right. All right, guys, so as the sun sets today here in Tennessee, and as the skeeters are eating me alive, that's what we call mosquitoes here in the South, is skeeters. I've got to tell you that this gun performed really kind of how I thought it was going to. You know, if you've shot enough over the years, you kind of are almost able to pick up a gun and kind of at least get a general idea of how the gun is going to feel, based on the design features of the gun, how the gun, how much it weighs, really how the bore over frame access, what's called bore over height access, that also plays in a role in the recoil. Obviously, we're all surprised. I was extremely surprised by the XL. The polymer feels different than what Glock uses. This beaver tail here obviously is going to aid in the way that the gun actually reciprocates. Obviously with a more aggressive tang here, beaver tail, as the gun wants to come up, that really kind of helps aid in keeping that slide flat. So The gun it shoots really flat, so there was really no surprise there based on my experience with the XL. This one is RMR ready, so I may end up putting one of the new Hollow Suns on this one. I just haven't decided yet. I really like the trigger. It was really easy for me to really get used to with just a very short dry fire practice session. So anyway, like I said, the gun shoots really flat. It's easy to track the front sight. So anyway, obviously I had no issues today. Was just running some simple 115 grain full metal jacket, brass casing, Winchester, as well as Federal. So, or American Eagle, which I think Federal makes American Eagle. But I digress. So anyway, guys, let me know. Sound off in the comments section down below. Let me know if you guys have any experience with the 320X or the 320 series. Would just like to get your guys' feedback, whether that feedback is either good or bad. So I'd like to hear that also too, so that anybody that is considering this as they come across that, if they're really adamant about research like I am, I read through the comment section on reviews to see what other people are reporting back as well. So anyway, guys, stay tuned here on the channel. Again, I've got more videos coming out as soon as I get those edited. And again, I want to thank you guys, as always, from the bottom of my heart for your continued support here on the channel. And till that next video, guys, take care. Be safe.